Have you ever found yourself stuck in a pointless argument that drained your energy or left you feeling frustrated for no reason at all? Or maybe you've experienced criticism that didn't even make sense, leaving you wondering how to respond. What if I told you there's a smarter way to navigate these situations, one that doesn't require you to engage or defend yourself at all? In today's video, I'm going to share 5 specific situations where adopting a strategy known as playing the fool can change everything for the better. Trust me, it's not about looking weak. It's about being wiser and more in control of your peace of mind. Imagine this: being able to handle conflict, criticism, or even attempts at manipulation without losing your cool or draining your energy. This video isn't just about how to win an argument. It's about learning how to step back, let go of unnecessary stress, and keep your inner peace intact. You'll discover how playing the fool can help protect your self-worth, avoid toxic situations, and maintain a level of wisdom that others will come to respect. By the end of this video, you'll be equipped with practical strategies for handling everything from passive-aggressive comments and boasting to outright provocation, all while staying calm, collected, and confident. Stick with me until the end, and I'll show you how playing the fool isn't about being naive or passive. It's actually about being smart and protecting what truly matters: your peace of mind. You don't want to miss these insights, so let's dive in. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you find this content helpful, please like and share it with others to keep these valuable lessons spreading. If you're enjoying the topic, please drop a 1 in the comments below. If not, feel free to comment 0, and let me know how I can improve to make better content for you. Let's get started. First, play the fool when provoked to argue. In life, there are always going to be people who will try to provoke you. These individuals seem almost eager to drag you into a pointless argument, their sole goal being to inflate their ego or assert that they're right at all costs. It's maddening, isn't it? Especially when you're tired, emotionally drained, or just not in the mood to deal with such pettiness. Yet, here's the truth: this is something you can control. As time passes and you enter those golden years, particularly in your 60s and beyond, something incredible begins to happen. Wisdom. Real wisdom, the kind that comes from lived experience, offers you a sense of inner strength and perspective that you never had before. It grants you the ability to discern what's worth your energy and what's not. When someone criticizes you, pointing out what they think are your mistakes, it's only natural to feel a rush of defensiveness, a deep desire to respond and set the record straight. But here's the profound realization: sometimes, the best course of action is to smile, nod, and choose silence. Not because you don't have a brilliant counter-argument ready, not because you don't know you're right, but because you understand something deeper. Arguing with someone who's not listening is as fruitless as shouting at a brick wall. It's draining, and ultimately, it just leaves you feeling empty. So, in those intense, frustrating moments, playing the fool doesn't mean you lack the intellect or the ability to rise to the occasion. Quite the opposite. It means recognizing that engaging with the provocateur will only give them the satisfaction they're so desperately seeking. By staying calm and observing, you allow them to tire themselves out with their noise. Over time, you'll see how the argument loses its strength, how the air thick with tension gradually begins to dissipate. Your calmness becomes a source of power. People around you, without even realizing it, start to notice your poise and your quiet strength, and they respect you not for how loud you can be, but for how gracefully you can navigate conflict without losing yourself in it. Choosing to remain silent, to not respond to petty provocations, doesn't mean you're weak or afraid to speak your truth. On the contrary, it means you've come to understand that your peace of mind is far more valuable than any fleeting victory in a meaningless argument. It's a choice that says, I don't need to prove anything to you or anyone. And that, my friends, is the real victory. Because sometimes, the wisest and most empowering choice is to simply step away, to not engage, to let the storm pass you by without allowing it to disturb your inner peace. Your emotional well-being is a treasure that's worth guarding, and in the grand scheme of life, the argument isn't nearly as important as the tranquility you cultivate in your soul. Second, play the fool when criticized without reason. Criticism is something that each of us has to confront at different stages of life, and let's be honest, it can sting, no matter how thick your skin is. But here's a deeper truth that I've come to realize, especially as I've grown older. Not every critique is worth your time, energy, or emotional investment. Too often, criticism comes from a place of envy, insecurity, or simple misunderstanding. Sometimes, people lash out because they don't understand your journey, your choices, or even the quiet wisdom you've gained over the years. By the time you hit your 60s, you've lived enough to know that the best way to handle such baseless words is to not take them to heart. Letting go of empty criticism is not just a way to avoid conflict, it's an act of self-love and self-respect. When someone feels the need to tear down your life, your decisions, or even your dreams, don't feel obligated to justify yourself or explain every choice you've made. At this stage in life, especially when you've weathered so many storms and risen through them, why should you waste your energy defending your path? Instead, choose to play the fool. Smile softly, nod if you must, and then keep on walking your path, fiercely and unapologetically, toward what brings you peace and joy. Those words, as loud as they may seem, lose their sting when you choose to disregard them. They're just empty noises that have no right to disturb your inner calm. Always remind yourself of this important lesson. Criticism says far more about the person who throws it at you than it ever does about you. By now, you've earned the right to live your life authentically. You don't need anyone's approval except your own. And let me make something clear. Playing the fool doesn't mean pretending that the criticism doesn't hurt or that it doesn't bother you at all. It doesn't mean you're simply brushing it off. No, it's about realizing that those words have no hold over you. You recognize that their opinions do not define you. People who criticize often do so because they're desperately searching for validation for their insecurities, hoping to provoke a reaction from you. But here's the beauty of it. When you choose not to engage, you take away their power. You don't let their bitterness or unhappiness affect you. Instead, you remain strong, calm, and focused on what truly matters. While they're left dealing with their demons, you continue forward on your journey, unshaken, unbothered, and brimming with a confidence that only comes from knowing who you are and where you're headed. And trust me, that kind of peace is priceless. Third, play the fool when others want to brag. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. As we get older, we inevitably encounter people who constantly feel the need to flaunt their wealth, accomplishments, or perceived knowledge, almost like it's their way of proving they are worthy of admiration or attention. It's an exhausting, almost draining experience to be around people who seem to believe that the louder they boast, the more valuable they become in the eyes of others. It can leave you feeling irritated, maybe even a little small, as they parade their accomplishments in front of you. But here's the truth. Engaging in that contest of one-upmanship, trying to match their boasting with your own stories of success or possessions, is nothing but a hollow game that will only leave you feeling empty. So, instead of jumping into the race to outdo them, take a deep breath and play the fool. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. Not anymore. When someone begins to boast about their latest achievements or the fancy new things they've acquired, or when they start rattling off their knowledge like it's some grand treasure, simply listen. Nod if necessary, let them speak, but don't let yourself get swept into the temptation of having to validate your worth in comparison. It's such a toxic cycle, trying to show that you're just as impressive, just as successful, or just as knowledgeable. But what you need to remember, what we all need to remember, is that true value doesn't come from what you have or what you can show the world. True value comes from who you are as a person, the kind of heart you carry, the wisdom you've gained through experience, and the peace that comes from knowing you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. Playing the fool doesn't mean belittling your achievements. It doesn't mean pretending you haven't accomplished amazing things in your life. You've lived, you've learned, and you've likely overcome challenges that others couldn't even begin to imagine. But your accomplishments, your successes, They are yours. You don't need the applause or acknowledgement of others to validate them. So, let them talk. Let them boast. While they are caught up in their world of self-importance, they enjoy the serenity that comes from not needing to compete in that race. The freedom of not needing to shout your value from the rooftops is nothing short of empowering. Often, people who feel the need to brag do so because they are trying to fill an inner void. They are compensating for insecurities and seeking affirmation from others because, deep down, they don't have the confidence to believe in themselves without external validation. So, let them have their moment. Let them bask in the attention they so desperately crave. Over time, you'll realize that their constant need to elevate themselves eventually loses its power. And you'll continue to stand strong, grounded in your peace and confidence. Because true strength is not in the noise of boasting but in the quiet, unshakable power of humility. By choosing to play the fool, by choosing to stay silent rather than joining in their game, you protect your energy. You protect your sense of self. In doing so, you demonstrate that real strength lies not in showing off but in knowing that your worth doesn't need to be proven to anyone. You're not just surviving this life. You're living it with grace, with wisdom, and with a profound understanding that sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Fourth, play the fool when they want to involve you in others' conflicts. Life is full of moments where people, whether they are friends, family members, or colleagues, attempt to drag you into conflicts that have absolutely nothing to do with you. It can be an insidious thing, often disguised as a request for your advice, your opinion, or your emotional support. At first, it might seem harmless, even like a friendly invitation to help, but before you know it, you're caught up in a web of drama that doesn't belong to you. And the truth is, no matter how much you care for the people involved, you can't fix what isn't yours to fix. This is where the power of playing the fool comes in, and it is an incredibly wise, self-protective move. When I say play the fool, I don't mean it in the traditional sense, like pretending to be naive or stupid. What I mean is choosing to remain outside of the emotional chaos when others try to pull you into it. You don't have to solve their problems or shoulder their burdens. You don't have to expend your energy on things that won't bring you peace or resolution. You've got your own life to live, and your emotional reserves are far too precious to waste on conflicts that have nothing to do with you. And honestly, stepping back is not only okay, it's necessary for your well-being. Imagine a situation where a friend approaches you with a family problem, expecting you to weigh in. At first, it's easy to sympathize, to listen, and to offer comfort. But before long, the weight of the issue starts to drag on you. You might feel obligated to offer solutions, even though you know deep down that no matter how hard you try, you can't truly fix what's broken. The truth is that one cannot fix other people's problems unless those people are willing to do the hard work themselves. You can listen, you can empathize, but you are not their therapist or their savior. You have the right to protect your peace. When you play the fool in these situations, you're not being cold or indifferent. You're being wise. You're understanding that the best way to support someone is sometimes by allowing them to handle their challenges. By refusing to get caught up in their emotional whirlwinds, you're teaching others an invaluable lesson: personal responsibility. When you withdraw from these conflicts, it sends the message that you value your emotional health, and you know that other people must learn to manage their issues. It shows that you believe in their ability to navigate their struggles, even if they don't see it right away. Playing the fool, in this sense, isn't a sign of weakness but of strength. It's a powerful act of self-care, one that respects your own mental and emotional boundaries. Every moment you spend on someone else's drama is a moment you take away from your well-being. And no, you don't need to feel guilty for choosing not to be a part of that. You are not obligated to dive into every conflict, to offer an opinion on everything, or to bear the weight of others' emotions. Life is too short to become the unwitting participant in every story that comes your way. So, when someone tries to draw you into a mess that's not yours, stand firm. Let them know, through your actions, that you'll be there for them emotionally, but not as a mediator or a savior. You teach others how to take responsibility for their issues while you protect your serenity. In the end, you'll feel lighter, and those around you will learn the invaluable lesson of owning their problems and resolving them on their own. Sometimes, stepping back is not only the wisest choice, it's the only choice that allows you to preserve your inner peace. Fifth and finally, play the fool when someone wants to take advantage of you. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. I know it sounds counterintuitive, but hear me out. Sometimes the wisest move is to pretend like you're unaware, even when you see exactly what's happening. Life, in its unpredictable nature, will inevitably bring people who will try to exploit your kindness, your trust, and your generosity for their selfish gain. It's heartbreaking when it happens, but the reality is that it does. And when it does, playing the fool isn't a sign of weakness. On the contrary, it's a testament to your emotional intelligence, your strength, and your ability to protect yourself. We've all been there, caught in moments where people try to manipulate our feelings or pressure us into giving more than we're comfortable with. Whether it's asking for money you can't afford to give or making you feel guilty for setting boundaries, it can be exhausting. But when you play the fool, you are doing something incredibly empowering. You're choosing to see through the manipulation, and instead of falling for it, you stand firm in your decision to protect yourself. It's a way of saying, I see you, but I won't let you use me. In these moments, choosing to step back and just observe can be an act of self-respect. A way of saying that you are worthy of respect and that you won't let anyone take advantage of your goodwill without consequence. Playing the fool doesn't mean you're ignorant of the situation. No, it means you're wise enough to realize that engaging in their game is not worth your time or energy. You might be tempted to give in, especially if the person asking is someone you care about or someone who has previously shown you kindness. But here's the hard truth. Not everyone deserves your kindness, and not everyone will appreciate your generosity the way you hope they will. That's something I've learned the hard way. And it's painful, but it's a lesson we all need to hear. Your kindness is a precious gift, not an endless well of resources that anyone can draw from without limits. When you choose to play the fool in these situations, you're acting from a place of strength, not weakness. You're setting boundaries that protect your emotional and mental well-being. You're showing the world that you can't be easily manipulated or fooled. And more importantly, you're taking control of your narrative. You don't allow yourself to become the person who is always giving, always sacrificing, while others only take. This choice isn't about being selfish. No, it's a form of self-care, a way to preserve your peace, your energy, and your emotional health. By playing the fool in these moments, you're not just shielding yourself from manipulation, you're also safeguarding your energy, ensuring that the people you invest in are the ones who truly deserve it. It's about giving only to those who value you for who you are, not for what you can offer them. And in doing so, you grow stronger, more confident, and more grounded in your worth. You teach others how to treat you, and you teach yourself that your boundaries matter. This is how you build stronger, more fulfilling relationships. Not by giving endlessly, but by sharing your time, energy, and love with those who will reciprocate it with the same respect and sincerity you offer them. As we wrap up today's discussion, let's take a moment to reflect on everything we've learned. Playing the fool isn't about being naive or weak. It's about choosing when to protect your heart and your energy. It's about recognizing manipulation and not allowing others to take advantage of your kindness or your trust. It's a form of wisdom, self-respect, and emotional intelligence that can strengthen your relationships and help you maintain your peace. So, what have you learned from this today? What new practice will you start to implement in your life? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please leave a comment below and share one thing that resonated with you and that you plan to bring into your daily life. If you liked this video, please don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more insightful content. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to hearing from you.